Hey guys, I'm Derek and I've been running a software company for almost 3 years now. And over this time, I've learned a lot about how to make money with software. And today I'm going to share some of that with you. If you're a developer or an aspiring developer looking for ways to monetize your skills, this video is just for you. But before we dive in, let me just say this. I started out just coding for fun, working on side projects and trying to learn as much as I could. So if you're just getting started, don't worry because you're already on the right path. Let's get into the key ways to monetize your skills as a developer. So when it comes to monetizing your skills as a developer, there are essentially two broad paths. The first, obviously, you can just get a job, right? And the second, you could build your own business. Both of these can lead to very different experiences. So let's just quickly break them down. If you're looking for a job, there are many developer niches that you can dive into, from web development to DevOps to mobile apps. There's also the option to freelance to take on contracts. Alternatively, if you're entrepreneurial, you might want to build a software product like a SaaS, a SaaS, a software as a service company, or a software consultancy. Each path has its own pros and cons, but they all involve solving problems with code. For me, I've personally tried out the path with SaaS, software as a service company, before running my current agency. And I can tell you this, right? SaaS has its hype. It's attractive, right? Just build it once and just leave it there to make monthly recurring revenue. But it's really not as easy as they make it out to be. Talk more about that later, right? No matter which path you choose, whether you want to work for someone else or start your own thing, the first step is always the same. It's to build a strong portfolio. Portfolio is the best way to demonstrate your skills. It speaks louder than any CV ever could. You could show people what you're capable of instead of just telling them. And trust me, as someone who has hired developers, I always look at portfolios before a CV. A well-crafted project can say a lot about your ability. So make sure to not just keep it in GitHub, right? Immediately deploy it so anybody, even if it's a non-technical person, could just click on it and quickly see what you've built. Here's the catch, right? The portfolio has to be high quality. You can't just throw up a half-baked project. Make sure it's polished, clean, and make sure it showcases your best work only. Development is one of those fields where you can literally speak through your work, so take advantage of that. Well, just now I mentioned about SaaS. So now let's talk about SaaS. It's a great business model, but it has a lot of challenges, especially when you're just starting. Many people think they can just build a product, add some marketing, and boom, success, right? But that's what I thought, and it's not really that simple. I've built quite a few SaaS companies, and I realized that when you're building a SaaS company, you need to solve a real problem. And that's harder than it sounds, because it's easy to think of ideas, but finding something that people will actually pay for, it's a whole different story. And even if you solve the problem, distribution is key. Getting your product in front of a lot of people is a challenge in itself, because think about it, you're only making like what, $9 per month or a user, so you need the volume here. I've worked with a lot of SaaS companies, and this is where they often struggle. Cash flow is a huge issue for smaller SaaS businesses, and it can take a while to see real, meaningful returns. That's why if you're thinking about building a SaaS, make sure you're prepared for a long journey ahead. But the rewards are worth it if you just see it through. So if SaaS sounds like too much of a hassle to you, don't worry, there are other ways of monetizing your skills. Freelancing is a good option, especially if you prefer to work independently. You can take on various projects, set your own rates, and even upgrade freelancing into a full-blown software consultancy like I did. But really, try and be mindful that if you want to grow a business, whether it's freelancing or SaaS or whatever it is, you will eventually need to step away from coding and into a higher level management role. And that's something not everyone wants to do, but it's worth thinking about as you plan your career. Now, let's talk about seniority and how to command higher rates as a developer. The key isn't learning 10 different programming languages. It's about mastering one and getting really good at it. Pick a tech stack and go deep in it. For example, if I have 2 developers in front of me and one of them knows a little bit of JavaScript, Python, and Rust, the second one is much more valuable in commercial terms. Businesses want people who can deliver fast with high quality as well, and a deep expertise allows you to do that. So focus on getting really good at one language or framework, and you will find that it's a lot easier to now land higher paying roles. One more thing that I want to mention is personal branding. If you want to get noticed by potential employers or clients, build a public profile. This doesn't mean you need to be an influencer or something like that, right? But having a presence online shows people that you're serious about your work. So what you could do is just quickly clean up your GitHub profile, make it look good, right? Post regularly about your projects, and don't be afraid to share your code. People trust developers who are transparent, and when you put your work out there, it makes you more accountable and more authentic. They feel like they get to know you a bit better, right? Plus, employers and clients are much more likely to trust someone who is open about what they do. So as one more extra bonus point that I could share, which is something I did back in the days when I first started learning to code, to monetize my coding skills, that's to teach it. The extra bonus here that I can give you all is to teach it. One of the easiest way is to find someone who's maybe just 6 months before you in your coding journey and be able to add value to them, right? What I did was I reached out to a few of my friends who were doing computer science degree, and I helped them out with their assignments as well as helping them do some of their coding interviews when they were preparing for algorithm tests. So that's something that I was focusing on it for 6 months or so when I was still self-learning the code. So that's where I first made my, I think I was charging around $20 per hour for teaching them, and that's where I first started paying the bills. It was really just by teaching at it. So yeah, you could do that too, right? If you want to really diversify your skill sets and diversify your means of monetizing as a software developer, teaching is definitely one of the best ways to do it as well. And the best part about teaching is you get to improve the gaps in your knowledge as well. Regardless of what skill you're doing today, there's always gaps in our knowledge, and if you're able to teach it, you not only get to help someone, you get to monetize from it, and at the same time, you get to improve your own skills as well, because now you have to really deeply understand the topic before you could teach it to someone else. So to quickly recap, if you want to monetize your developer skills, number one, build a strong portfolio. Number two, decide if you want to get a job or start a business. Number three, if you're building a product, solve a real problem and make sure you find a way to figure out distribution, get enough eyeballs looking at your product. Number four, get really good at one thing, one tech stack only, right? No matter which route you take, there's so many ways to make money as a developer, whether it's for working for someone else, freelancing, or building your own thing, or just mentoring someone else, teaching it to other people. The key here is consistency, expertise, and making sure you're improving 1% every single day. As long as you keep moving forward, you will not go hungry. Thank you so much for watching, and if you found this helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.